Okay, hopefully this is close enough. We're good? Okay, I'll try to remember. You can just go up. Okay. Welcome, Zoomers too, or however we're doing it. Oh, the online folks. Yay. Welcome, everyone. Well, I don't know about you all, but I'm filled, right? What a grounding for this talk about awakening to your passion. And when I hear people talk passionately and beautiful music about the truth of who we are, I get excited. So I'm excited to be here with you and share this great topic and just to be in this beautiful space with you. So when I got this topic, I got to choose, and I heard awakening to your passion. I'm like, oh, I think that's a good one for me. I think I'm going to pick that one. So thank you for letting me choose. And as I started thinking about it, I was thinking about my old dog, TK. And TK's been gone now about 12 years, but TK was such a passionate little being. And when we first got him, and when we got him, he would wake up every morning. And he was pretty respectful. He waited for us to wake up generally. And then he would get up and he'd move his whole body. And TK was like a golden retriever Australian Shepherd mix, about 45 pounds. And he'd wake up and he wouldn't just wag. He would move his whole body. And he was ready for the day. Jump off that bed. He was ready for the day. Let's head out and have a fantastic day. And he'd get me up, and he'd always get a little treat in the morning, and he loved that. And he'd head out. And I just always thought, and it was contagious, right? It's contagious when someone has that passion of being in your life, and we're so lucky to call him my master of zeal. And there's a Charles Fillmore quote about zeal that I think that TK really embodied. And this is that Charles Fillmore was Unity co-founder, and this is the quote. And it's been said that he wrote this when he was about 92, 93. So so we can aspire to this, right? And he says, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do that which ought to be done by me. To do that which ought to be done by me. And TK just sprung forth. He did that. He was like that. And and it wasn't just in the morning. When I come home in the afternoon today, because when I'm thinking about awakening to your passion, it's not just one time, right? We can awaken, we can kind of hit the snooze button, we can kind of get distracted, we can have it pulled away from us. So it's a process, it's a practice. It's something we do over and over and over again. And TK taught me that. Little master of zeal he was. And I remember to come home and he'd always be so happy to see me, and have you ever heard that? Like if I treated myself the way my dog treated me or saw me, we all could do that, right? And I remember I'd feed him dinner, and this was the sweetest darn thing he did. So he wanted to share his passion with his little stuffed animal friends. So he would always go and get one little stuffed animal and take it with him when he ate, because he just wanted to share the joy, right? Because we're not in this alone, and we want to share. It was the sweetest thing, always, every single time. So I was really thinking about TK and wanted to kind of bring him up as, first of all, what I'm going to do today is going to define some terms, talk about some things that we kind of want to watch out for. Those kind of passion drainers are hijackers. And I'll talk about what I mean, because I think you'll know what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to just give you 3 ideas that I want you to kind of hold in your heart and in your thought as you make the choice, because it's a choice, time and time again, to practice, to awaken to your passion. Okay, so I'm going to give you some suggestions and some ideas that hopefully when you hold those in mind, it helps you to awaken that passion and be the master of zeal like my little TK. So quickly, just some terms. I think I've kind of described it. So passion is just excitement, right? Merriam-Webster says, according to Merriam-Webster, passion refers to a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement, or either being for something or about doing something. And I'm going to say a new thought is just about being. Simply being and knowing the truth of who we are, radiating that. What excitement and passion. And I think that's what dogs teach us, That's what TK, he just radiated being. His purpose was just, I'm going to love. I'm going to have joy. I'm going to appreciate life. I'm going to be unconditional. Wow, a lot to learn from that little guy. So that's what we're talking about, passion, just excitement, enthusiasm. Okay, and you might feel like, zeal is a word that I really want you to think of, and that is actually one of our 12 powers, 12 abilities that's innate to you. So you might be seeing there, well, Susan, you seem like you kind of got this passion thing down. You're pretty passionate. And I am. It's kind of my jam. I get it. But everyone has passion. And you might not feel like you do, but you do. It doesn't always have to be this outward exuberance. There can be a simmer inside of you. It can be a very quiet thing. We can all express that in any way. Anytime I can see it as I look out at your eyes. And I see your interest and your interaction with me. That's not me up here. And I feel it from those in the digital world. You know, that we're connecting right now. You're allowing this time to awaken to your passions. Knowing the truth of who you are, seeing the truth in me, and then my reflecting it back to you. That's something we get to do for each other. So everyone has passion. I love that the reading that I was given this week was about remembering when you were a child and remembering that child, what brought you joy? And maybe that can activate your passion. And I think that's great. And you know why I think that's so true? Because when we're children, we are more likely to remember the truth of who we are. We are more likely to have not gotten so connected to all of these ideas and thoughts and not good enough. That's not for you. That's not your lane. Well, who do you think you are? You're not good enough. Look how that person, I could never be like them. All those too much, too little, too whatevers. That lack consciousness. And little kids just don't have that. Last week, we had little kids up on the stage at Tucson. And this one little girl, and I just love this girl, I volunteer in the Sunday school room, and she just was just running circles and circles. And it was the dearest thing because she just had so much joy. She had so much joy. And it was so much fun to share that. So you have an inner child within you always. And so awakening to your passion is partially just remembering that. Remembering that. So that's what, so zeal and an awakening. Zeal is just that urge to move forward. That passion is just that excitement and energy, and it provides us the urge to move forward. It gives us that oomph, right? It gives you that oomph. I don't know about you, if I wake up and, oh, it's another day. That's not very, you got to do it for yourself sometimes. Give yourself that little oomph. So there are some things sometimes that I am going to recall the passion drainers and the passion hijackers, because I think these are things that we need to bring to attention because we get a choice about waking to our passion. And sometimes it's easier than others. So what is a passion hijacker? Well, I'll tell you yesterday, Cox. And, I just had to deal with the Cox outage yesterday. And, it was just so much fun. It came up on the TV call. Okay, I'll call you. No phone number. Okay. A phone number would be helpful if you want me to call y'all, but okay. So, okay, I'm somewhat tech savvy. So I got on my phone. I looked for a phone number, couldn't find it. Okay, chat. Okay, I'm going to chat with you. Okay, all the stuff you have to go through because it's a robot. I was like, okay, whatever you got to do, people. Okay, I'm going to roll with, and I kept telling my roommate, I'm staying in the flow. Mom, Dad, I'm staying in the flow, people. So I'm trying to stay in the flow, and then finally they go, oh, you need to call us. And I go, but I need your phone number. And they go, oh, go to our website and find our phone number. Okay, all right. Well, I don't know if that's going to work. I've done this. It's not my first rodeo, people. But I'm going to try. I'm going to trust and have faith. Went to the website. Of course, there's no place to call. There's no phone numbers. They don't want you to call them anymore, people. I used to work in a call center. I get it. So I get back on. I go, no, it's not working. And then they said, what about this? And they go, and I just said, human being. And that did work. I did get a person with a name. So then she came on and she searched, and she's like, oh, there's just an outage in your area. And we don't know when it'll be done. So anyway, the reason I mention this is we all kind of have these daily frustrations, right? And I can get I've kind of gotten passionate about telling you about it. And we can laugh about it, and it's funny, but that's not where I want to put my energy and my time, right? So like I told my roommate, Pat, I'm like, Pat, I'm staying with the flow. I was trying to get ready for my talk today. I'm like, I'm going to stay with the flow. So it's just the way the world works. And I was very grateful to the person who did end up assisting me, the human being, and I was thankful. And when I get home today, I'll do it again. But those can be real drainers, those things where we just kind of, if I just was up here complaining about the world not being the way I want it to be, and then with no intention of doing anything to make a difference, that's what I call a passion hijacker. You know, you find yourself out in the parking lot talking about the heat. Well, you know what? It's not a big old surprise. And it's okay, it bonds us, right? It's something we can talk about. But let's move on to something else. Let's talk about how wonderful it is to have this air conditioning. How lucky we are if you have a vehicle. How lucky it is if you have shelter. How fortunate we are to be able to help those who don't. If you're in that, you know? So it's just a way we focus. So watch out for those hijackers. I won't even get into the paper towel dispenser at work. I'm just going to tell you, every time I see that people are not using it properly, it can be a bit of a hijacker. But I'm gonna let it go. So we let those go. And then the other thing I want to talk about are what I call passion drainers. So what are those passion drainers? And I'm going to tell you, those passion drainers are those little cultural things that we've been told that tell us no, that we're not good enough, that that's not for us, that's not age appropriate, that's not for your gender, that's not you, you don't have the talent for that. Who do you think you are? All of those little messages we've gotten all our lives telling us, based on the way we show up in physical form, how we should be. And they're very real messages that we hear, and we embed them in us. They come out. I remember my sister Sandy, when she was in middle school, she wanted to be in a play. It was a while ago. It's You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Back when it was a big hit the first time. So she wanted to play Lucy, and she was in middle school. And my mom said, "Oh, you can't do that." And Sandy was gregarious and outgoing, and she really could have had the Lucy personality down. She could have done it. But Sandy's singing voice, I guess, wasn't great. I don't remember. I was her little sister. I idolized her. Thought she was great and everything, you know. But my mom told her, no, don't do that. And my mom wasn't a mean person. She was a very loving mother. We were so fortunate to have her. But my mom told her no because she didn't think Sandy's voice was good enough. And she thought people would make fun of her, and it would be painful. And truthfully, it might have been. It might have been. So either whatever happened in the scenario, Sandy might have been damaged as far as getting this message, I can't sing. Sandy loved music. That was something that she was passionate about. But from that point on, even we did sing-alongs as a family. You know, we always sang Christmas carols, and we'd even sing songs after dinner. We were kind of a real musical group. Sandy, I don't remember hearing her voice. I remember I started going to a Unity Peace here in Tucson. I was in the choir, and Sandy would come visit from Phoenix, and she'd come down, and we'd always have choir practice, and she'd sing with us, but I don't think I ever heard her voice. And I know there's a part of your inner child that's hearing this and knows a story very similar in your own heart. And that's just the cultural conditioning. And it wasn't my mom being mean. She was just trying to protect her, but it's not true. Now, maybe Sandy was never going to be a singer where people are going to be paying money to hear her sing. She probably could have gotten through an 8th grade play. Maybe not. She was a sensitive kid. I got where my mom's coming from now as an adult. But I'm also sorry that happened. So, you know, just remember that those things happen. Just kind of let them go, okay. You know, everyone's doing the best they can always. Just love that. Love your inner child. Love the people who are trying to protect you and saying things for whatever reason. Just let it go. Everybody has a voice. Everybody can sing. Everybody can follow their passions. And the other one is just comparison. I just want to talk a little bit about the dangers of comparison and how that can be a drainer on our passions, right? comparison. So when my mom was saying this to my sister Sandy, well, my mom had a sister, my Aunt Patty, and she was a classically trained singer. She was a beautiful singer. She sang opera, she was very talented. And my mom grew up hearing her. And for my mom, that was the standard of someone who could sing. And even I do think I have a pretty good voice. She didn't encourage any of us to sing because she had that comparison in her mind. But we all do it, right? And you don't have to be a singer or an artist that's going to sell art. You don't have to be anything to explore your passions, to awaken them and do it. I think we can be inspired by each other. That's a good thing. And I think comparison is something we do naturally. There's nothing wrong with comparison, but when we find ourselves lacking or limited or saying, I'm not good enough compared to another person, that's a real passion drainer. It's just a plain old passion drainer, people. Would TK do that, Master of Zeal? No. He's not going to look at another dog and, well, wow, look at how they do their morning grading. I got to up my game. Or forget it. Because what happens then? We kind of hit the snooze button, right? We hit the snooze button. We've been awakened. It might awaken again, and then we hit it again and again. And this is a practice. It's that practice makes progress. That's what we're here to do. So when I'm talking about these things, when these drainers and these hijackers come up in your life, which just is a very natural part of being human, I'm just going to encourage, just let them go gently. Let them go. Do the best you can to release them and let them go. And you have your friends here to help you do that, right? And yeah, you can tell a funny story about clocks. It's okay, but it's not where I'm going to land myself. Because the most important thing about awakening to our passion, and what I mean is to make active, to stir up your urge to go forward, focusing on knowing the truth of who you are. That's where you want to land. Keep coming back to that center. Just what we've been talking about all morning. Bring it back to center. Bring it back to your truth. And see that for other people as well. Because you might have been the person holding up the warning sign. Hey, Sandy, worried about your voice. That might be embarrassing. Could have been me. I don't know. She was a sensitive person. Could have been me. No judgment. No judgment. So, but when we bring it back to center, that's what we're talking about. Reverend Eric Butterworth says, the whole universe is centered at the point of view, and there's no way you can change that. I'm going to say that again. The whole universe is centered at the point of view, and there is no way you can change that. So even these drainers and hijackers, it's still all true. It's just where you're focusing your attention, and just bring it back to center. So with that thought, I'm going to go ahead and just take us into a moment of a prayer and meditation. And then I will tell you my three suggestions on how to awakening to your passion to help you do that. So if it's comfortable for you, I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes and just kind of relax. And I just really want you to feel and know the truth of who you are. And just relax into this space, relax online, wherever you happen to be. And you are just among friends. You're in a safe place, a comfortable place. You're a place where you can just simply be and be nurtured and be nurturing. What a gift this is. And as you relax into this space, I'm going to read some words, and I want you to kind of just feel these words written on your heart, because this is the truth of who you are. I know the truth of who I am. I know the truth of what I see. I know the truth of who you are. I know the truth will set us free. I know the truth need not be questioned. I know the truth needs no defense. I know the truth is ever constant. I know the truth is there when we close our eyes to see. I know the truth brings me peace. I know the truth cannot cause pain. I know the truth is equally shared by all. I know the truth is just, kind, and fair. I know the truth when I enjoy a deep breath. I know the truth when I am kind and compassionate to all I meet. I know the truth when I gaze upon another face and see myself. I know the truth is in every act of kindness. I know the truth is in every act of forgiveness. I know the truth is in every prayer to know oneness. I know the truth is in every moment they are loving to ourselves and others true. I know the truth survives all things. I know the truth is never changing. I know the truth is where courage, love, beauty, joy, and peace reign supreme. I know the truth lies in each human being. The truth lies in you. I'm going to allow you just a moment to reflect on that and know that for yourself. And just go ahead and just enjoy that deep breath. And know that the truth resides in you and that you know the wisdom of your truth, of who you are, the divine identity, the infinite being of light is true. That is who you are, and you can know that in this moment, whether you know it or not. When we dedicate time to this, there is an awareness of this infinity, this all power, which is part of who you are, which is who you are. There's an awareness of that. And for this, just breathe in and let's just take a moment in deep gratitude and appreciation for being able to be together, to know this truth. And for this, go ahead and come back into attention in the room and we say, and so it is, amen. So, awakening to our passion is just remembering the truth of who we are. And also helps us if we can remember everyone else too, right? All right, so what are I got 3 tips for you. I'm sorry, my time is kind of gone. I'll go quick. Kind of lost track of time. But just 3 things that I want to give 3 tips, okay? I'll try to go quick. So first of all, I just want to tell you that you're always doing the best you can. So when you find those drainers happening or those, or hijacking, you're doing the best you can. And you might not believe this, but based on the conditions of your life and the conditionings you find yourself, you're doing the best you can right here and now, always. Okay, that's just always the truth of you. And I want you to remember that. When we awaken to our passion, sometimes we want to hit that snooze button. That dimming and that it's hit the snooze. And sometimes we need a Sabbath. Sometimes we need a break. It's okay to hit the snooze button sometimes. Sometimes we need to restore and rejuvenate. But if we're hitting the snooze because I just can't do this or I'm not good enough, you are doing the best you can always. That doesn't mean we don't make corrections when we need to. Doesn't mean we don't ask for forgiveness and we don't make a restitution when required, but we've always been doing the best we can. And I want you to remember that. My mom was doing the best she could when she was telling my sister Sandy about, not to sing. That's what she thought was the right thing. And honestly, I'm not completely sure it was the wrong thing. It was complicated because we live in a judging world for a sensitive eighth year grader. So you're always doing the best you can. TK knew that when I forgot to feed him dinner one day. I shared him with my sister Sandy, and one day I came home and we had different schedules, and we thought we both fed him. And I was like, why is he acting like this? It's like he seems really hungry. He's like, he forget. It was not a big deal. TK got it. We were doing the best we could. The second thing I want to just let you know and just kind of keep in your mind is that you are fully equipped to handle anything that comes your way. You are fully equipped. I volunteer at Sister Jose's Women's Center, and they support unhoused women there. And I get to have a super fun job. I do bingo on Tuesday nights. And I serve dinner, which is prepared by chefs, and they all think I serve it, make it. I don't. It's a great job. But, so I have a lot of fun. But the caseworkers see a lot. When I was there on Tuesday, it was a hard night. And it was a hard night because, there was just, I don't want to work, privacy issues, let's just put it that way. But the case manager just had a hard night. And I said, how are you guys doing? And she said, it's just sometimes it's a hard part of the job, but we can do hard things. We are totally 100% equipped. We are totally 100% equipped. This is what Unity co-founder Charles Filmer said. If you can imagine it is possible to God, it is possible to you. And that is the truth. That is the truth. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes it is difficult. It's not all rainbows and lollipops. Sometimes we fall down. Sometimes we get discouraged. Sometimes we have to do hard things when we are awakened to our passion. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to remember you're doing the best you can. I want you to remember that you're fully equipped. And finally, I want you to remember you're never alone. Look around this room. Look on our to our virtual people. You can reach out. You're not alone. You can always reach out for prayer. You're not alone. Even if you're not in a room with people, you're never alone. We are connected, and we can always reach out for help. We can always reach out for help because sometimes awakening to our passion is not always easy, but it's what we are here to do. Each and every one of us here to do what is ours to do. So I'm going to conclude to you just to remember, I want to remind you just to awaken to your passion. I'm grateful for you waking up and coming here today and listening to me and just all this wonderful music and all this inspiration. I thank you for doing that, and I just appreciate your efforts to keep this as a practice. Practice makes progress. Continue to awaken to your passion. And you have this within you. And the three things to especially remember, just be cautious of those drainers and those hijackers. And remember, you are always doing the best you can. You are fully equipped. And finally, you are not alone. Thank you very much.